I love being a dad. Ever since I heard that Will Smith song, Just the Two of Us, I knew that I wanted to have four kids of my own and be the best dad that I could be. Fast forward into the future, I have two boys, ages 13 and 8. They're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I freaking love it, but damn, sometimes it is hard. Welcome to the Legacy Builders podcast, where we redefine generational wealth one story at a time. I am your host, Mario Gonzalez Jr. And if you're looking to build something bigger than yourself, then you are definitely in the right place. Today, I want to talk about entrepreneurship and fatherhood and how it is not always easy to separate the two. I am not coming in as a parenting guru. I am coming in as someone who is trying to navigate that path myself, talk about my journey, what I've learned along the way, what I am learning, and hopefully it resonates and connects to somebody out there who is going through the same thing. If you've already figured out how to accomplish that and separate the two worlds, then I definitely want to talk to you. But for the rest of us, here it goes. Being a dad is already tough when you're working a 9 to 5. There's no doubt about it. You work your 9 to 5. If you have to go into a corporate setting, then you come home and you still have to be a father, right? It's like having two jobs. I remember that distinctly. Once you get into entrepreneurship, you're working 24/7, especially in the early stages when you're being an owner operator, if you're homeschooling kids on top of that, man, it gets even tougher. It is a huge, huge challenge. What I find for myself is that I struggle with disconnecting when I'm with my kids. So it's like I am present, I am there with them, but I'm not really there with them, right? My kids ask me a question and my mind is processing other things in the business world, whether it's I have to reply to this email or I got to check my inbox. So I'm constantly looking at my phone, knowing that I should be paying attention to my child and he really wants to have a conversation with me. But hey, I have other things to do. And it's like learning how to prioritize your business or your professional world with your kids is a struggle, man. A lot of the times, in order for me to accomplish that, I have to turn off my phone. I have to put it in my calendar that, I am not going to go onto my computer, and I'll have a conversation with my kids too. I'll be like, hey, Jasper, do you think I'm working too much or I'm on my computer too much? They'll tell me 9 times out of 10, yeah, Dad, you should spend more time with us, So when you can kind of get your kids to guilt trip you, at least it works for me, then I'm able to turn that switch off and focus on them a little more. But it's a harsh reality because we have to pay the bills, and when we're working on a project that needs to get done, nobody else is going to do it but us, unless you get to a point where you can hire that out, right? My son will be working on a project in the kitchen, and I'll walk in and I'll be like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. I feel bad that I'm working on my time. I'm on my computer all the time, but I promise I'm going to shut it down in a couple hours, and they'll make a snarky remark at this point because unfortunately they learned from the master of sarcasm, right? And I'll be successful for 30 minutes and then I'll find myself going back. So it is a constant struggle trying to separate the two, my brain is wired for problem solving, and I would like to think that I problem solve for my kids too, and problem solve for being a father. It is a thing, but sometimes I just want to find the damn off switch, man. And the gurus don't tell you that it is a struggle for themselves. And I hear like podcasts where I'm listening to folks and they act as if they have it all figured out. Nah, man, I want to hear the nitty gritty. I want to hear all of the times where it doesn't work out for you. Like, great, I'm glad people have systems. And if it works for you, again, great. But not all of us have it mapped out that way. Entrepreneurs have this insane responsibility to build a better life for our family and for our kids. And for a long time, that's what was my driver, and it still is. However, sometimes you have to take a step back and realize that you're building it for yourself too. You are drowning yourself in that business because you have emotional struggles going on, whether in my case it was divorce. You have struggles going on that you don't want to face, things that you're putting off, and rather than deal with those things, you put them into your business. And that could go for your kids too. Sometimes I'll be so focused on developing and mastering this thing with business that I forget about the kids because maybe subconsciously I'm pushing them away, right? Maybe it's easier for them to do their own thing and me do my own thing, and me not having to deal with being a father. And that's hitting me right now as I'm speaking. And it is a good way to analyze where I'm at in real time. So trying to find the balance is extremely tough. And I think us as fathers in this day and age, it's changed a little bit. Hopefully you have a good 50-50 partnership with your spouse. But I mean, sometimes it's one spouse is carrying more of a weight than the other. Depends who's working. If you're both working, then, there's some sort of dynamic there. But it's tough. The small things that actually help me stay aligned with them is having a spot for them on my vision wall. I call it a vision wall now because it literally takes up a whole wall. And I took a step back one day and I was like, you know what, Mario, you're so focused on your vision and your goals that you don't take your kids' goals into account. So I got them a poster board. I said, hey guys, I want you to map out what your vision looks like. My oldest son loves magic. He drew a magic hat on it and he wants to make money. My youngest son loves art. My nephew, who lives with me right now, wants to own a house by the time he turns 18. So they each have their own vision board on my vision wall. So when I look at that vision board, I see what their aspirations are, and it helped me map to that. So when I'm building stuff for myself, I'm also building for them, right? Again, those phone away moments where I turn off my phone or put my phone in a room and focus on them. Even if we're watching a movie, if I'm sitting there looking at my phone while the movie's going on, sometimes I'll try and do it sneakily when they're so focused on the movie that they don't look at me. Sometimes they'll turn around though and catch me, and I'm like, dang it, I wish I could just tune out for a moment. But literally, like, turning your phone off, putting it away helps. Checking in with them, asking questions helps too. Have them help you gauge where you're at with your activity if you're working too much and not paying attention to them. And then choose those moments over the minutes. Kids grow fast, guys. I don't know how old your kids are, but mine are already 8 and 13. My 13-year-old didn't want to celebrate Halloween with us this year. He wanted to go to a Halloween party with his friends, and it was bittersweet. I love the kid. I'm like, cool, he's growing up, but at the same time, that is my baby boy. So it's going to pass by fast, and before you know it, I could be working on this for the next 5 years. I'm going to blink and they're going to be adults. So I definitely don't want to miss those moments. And I know us as fathers who really love being fathers, we don't want that either. It's something that we're afraid to say out loud, and I don't want my kids to grow up thinking that the business mattered more than they did, which is why they're so involved in the podcast and the creation, and why I have those conversations with them all the time. So keep fighting for the balance, but also know that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to be human. I am not the perfect dad. I am not the perfect entrepreneur, but I wake up every day with the intention to try and be better than I was the day before. And I think we should all aspire to that. If you're a parent juggling both worlds, just know that you're not alone. We're in the trenches together. I would love to hear everybody's feedback, their comments. Where are you at with that journey between trying to be the best father you can be and navigating your business, because I love to learn from folks who have already mastered that skill. So after this, I am going to go back to the drawing board and make fatherhood a priority on my vision board, because it's a big deal for me. And I'm sure it's a big deal for everybody else. Thank you for tuning into this episode. If you want more, I have a huge catalog of different topics on business and entrepreneurship and the journey. Look forward to bringing more guests on, and we will see you in the next one.